Hello everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thank you so much for joining me here. Hope you're having a fantastic day. We're taking a look here at Ravencoin, seeing what's going on in the last 24 hours with this bearish engulfing candle and helping understand best practice, big picture. And we're going to take a look at Fibonacci retracement lines and see essentially, what's going to happen next. I mean, is this price point going to continue to go lower, or if it's going to hold at this tentative support level we have right now. So we'll check that out and much more. Just note, if you're new to the channel, I'm not a financial advisor. Love to teach people to trade. I've been trading as a full-time day job for quite some time now. I've been trading for over 16 years. So I can tell you that I've learned a thing or two, and I have a trading academy. So go ahead and check out my website, cryptocash.tech. All the social media is on the bottom. But furthermore, the bottom line here is that I offer trading signals too as kind of an icing on the cake. So it's really awesome, all-encompassing situation where you can actually benefit from the trades that I take, kind of learn how to structure your trades, but also learn from my trading academy. Got a lot of recent graduates here as well, and it's been a fantastic experience. So thank you to my current community members for that. Very last but not least is BitGet. I recommend using this exchange. There is leverage in the US without a VPN. It's really an amazing experience. No one's really been able to do that up until now, and I have a partnership with them, of course, so you can obviously get a significant bonus by using this link here. So check that out in your own time. Now, here's what's going on with Ravencoin. It's pretty straightforward in the sense that it corrected itself because it became overextended. While it did break through that key level resistance I was expecting, it didn't hold for too long. A lot of times it'll come back down to retest as a support level, and that didn't happen. So we want to kind of take a look here and kind of see what's going to happen next. And why don't we go ahead and just reverse these skills here, or these Fibonacci retracement levels, kind of see how much lower it could go if it continues. So in this sense here, what we can see is that the price action is it's holding above the support at about 56, or 5.6 rather. And 5.6 cents is a point of contention because you can see there's a lot of volume accumulation here at that price point. So if we take a look at the volume, you can see that even though there's more volume down here, the third most amount of volume is right there. So we have a tentative support there at that level. And obviously the most amount of volume accumulation was here in this range, about 6.3. So again, volume works as a support level sometimes, not always, but sometimes it does. So in that sense, I would expect this range here to kind of hold, considering this was a previous resistance level and the fact that it was a most recent support. Okay, you can see that on the smaller time frames, but generally speaking, you can see that this was a support level for a day. Today, tentatively as well, bounced off that level. Okay, you got to keep in mind also, Bitcoin had a bit of a correction last night and again this morning. It keeps retesting 19,500. So in that sense, you got to recognize that Ravencoin being overextended, some of the profits are being taken when Bitcoin starts to come down and the dominance actually comes up. Coincidentally, Bitcoin dominance is higher today because a lot of altcoins are getting hit and money's coming from altcoins and going back into Bitcoin to buy that support level dip. Again, there's a lot of back-end stuff that you got to kind of recognize, but generally speaking here, this makes sense, this correction. While it wasn't expected to hit this hard, it should have done a more of a handle type of pattern. It blew straight through that and continued lower. So that's why you want to have a stop loss in place and always learn from your mistakes if you make them. So take a look here at RSI. Price action coming down, we saw it bounce off 70. It's actually good that it's coming down under 70. The key is for 50 to hold. So the price action can go sideways for 2 or 3 more days. The RSI will naturally continue itself down to 50 and then essentially bounce, and we should be able to get that increase in price. Again, hypothetically, that's where we're at. But bottom line, the daily doesn't look fantastic, minus the fact that we have moving averages working its way up with this ascending trend. So in truth, while we did lose this ascending trend here, we have a different ascending trend that's still working positively. Okay, and that's going to run concurrent with the 20-day set moving average and sometimes the 50 as well. So this is going to be a stronger support area here for the price action. So if the price does go sideways, you can expect it to bounce there eventually. It's a couple weeks away, but generally speaking, that's just big picture stuff. That's the positive. But for right now, and for the corrective sake here of what's happening, it makes perfect sense. We can see this oscillator here starting to dissipate on the MACD, basically just telling us we're losing that momentum. Not to say it's just going to continue crashing down, but hypothetically, if we can hold 5.6 cents, we'll be good. If not, the next key level would be somewhere in the range of 5.2 and basically 5 even. That's really the next major support area. And then of course, we don't even want to talk about it, 3.9 is also the worst case scenario because that's where the most amount of volume is and the price should effectively hold above that. That's a worst case. I don't think we're going to see that because we're still above this ascending trend. So I think a worst case scenario is 50 cents in the next couple of days. potentially 52 cents, but likely a hold at 56. I'm sorry, I keep misspeaking. It's not 50 cents or 56. It's 5 or 5.6 cents. But you get the idea, right? 5.6 is essentially the current support level, or you can round up and say 5.7. So that's kind of where we're at there on the daily. So mostly bearish on the daily, okay? Especially since we're making lower highs and lower lows. So if you can see this here, we got to expect that to continue until it doesn't, okay? So that's kind of the mindset that you want to be in. Same thing here with the RSI. We're losing 50 in the RSI, telling us we don't have that support and the price could continue further. We also want to take a look at TD sequential and see we're at a 5 right now. So we're basically 5 times 4, 20 hours into our continuation of the downside. So we hypothetically have another 4 more candlesticks to go, right? Again, there's no guarantees it's going to hit a 9. In fact, Ravencoin has had a tendency of hitting a 6s and 7s and resetting and turning direction. So hypothetically, we're due for a correction here to the upside, right? But just know that there is always potential for a 9 to occur on TD sequential, and if so, that's usually a case in point where the price will consolidate and retrace in the opposite direction. We could see that. So I would say another 16 hours, we should have a definitive line in the sand here for Ravencoin. Taking a look, of course, at the moving averages just really quick. We've got the 50 working its way up. This could potentially work as a support level. So I would say the 4 hour, while still bearish, does have potential to bounce back based on overextension. But there's no doubt that we're making lower highs, lower lows. We've lost 50 on the RSI. There's a handful of reasons why it may be disadvantageous to just buy the dip. But once again, this previous resistance level, right, should work as a support level. That's essentially the concept. And you can see this most recent Fibonacci retracement level, the price action retraced all the way down to 5.7 if you round up just a little bit, okay? So 5.7 should be a good place that holds for support. All right. Last thing we want to look at is a 1 hour. So TD sequential, we want to take a look at here. We can see we're at a 9 here, of course. So in the last 9 hours, we've seen just straight bearish divergence essentially for 9 hours straight. So in that sense, we can see the price action wants to kind of hold at this area too. So this is a positive because we came down to an 8 previously and now a 9. If you see 2 9s in a row, it's commonly a sign for reversal. Okay. And just take a look how fantastic this is doing. We see 9s on Ravencoin a lot. It hit a 9 previously just before it broke to the upside and then came right back down. Okay, so again, it was overextended going into that push. That's why I said I wished I'd seen a cup and handle pattern. There wasn't much of a handle. It just kept on going, and that's why it got rejected. Didn't have enough time to consolidate at that key level resistance because it was overextended. All right. So that's kind of where we're at there. That's a very, very good sign in that sense. You can also probably see that reflected on Bollinger Bands. We're getting really close to those levels. And then the volume weighted average price, we're well outside that standard deviation. So based on the volume, the price action should really be 6.3. Instead, it's at about 5.7, 5.8. Excuse me. So in that sense, when you see that overextension, the price action should pull back. So I would say this on a short-term time frame, if you were to go for a long position, so to speak, on a day trade, that would be more viable because it's so overextended. It should pull back and come back up. And it's not only overextended on the volume, though. That's the beautiful thing. It's also overextended on the sequence of numbers here twice. So it hit a 9 2 times in a row. I think the likelihood of a pullback to the upside is greater. It may not be significant. What we're looking for first, though, is for us to make higher lows. The next low has to be higher than the previous. That's the way that you break this trend. Okay, because right now we're on a descending trend, and it's not looking good. Until we break this trend, we got to anticipate it's going to continue lower. Okay. So again, the best thing to do is to train yourself to honor the trend lines until they break, and then if you're in a descending trend, the first identifier of a trend reversal or just at least range-bound activity is to find higher lows. So we're looking for higher lows here. All right. So all in all, Ravencoin isn't in terrible shape, but it could use it does require improvement. But I think we're on the precipice here of a significant move back upwards. It would make sense for the price to recover from here, at least monetarily. It may only be up to 6.3. It may only be up to 6.5, but it will potentially happen. It seems more likely than not because it is overextended to the downside, both based on volume and, of course, a sequence of numbers. All right. And those are things I like to kind of use in my analysis, and I teach this as well, of course, in my trading academy, so be sure to check that out. CryptoCash.tech is a website. Once again, link in the description below. You can register to become a better trader. There's a lot of good resources here, and it's really just a great experience to be able to work with other traders and to really just kind of all collaborate and come together and make informed decisions. We all learn and grow together. It's fantastic. Final words here, of course, make sure you register with BitGet. Absolutely an awesome exchange, my favorite. It's the only reason why I partnered with them, because they're going to help my US residents be able to use leverage without a VPN. Really awesome stuff there. Check that out. There's a sign up bonus if you use that link there. So all right, that's pretty much where we're at here. Hope that you learned something here today. Of course, thank you so much for watching. We'll go ahead and see you again tomorrow, and hope you have a good rest of your day. And take care. Thank you.